Let's now take the focus to the southern Indian state of Kerala, where protests are ongoing over the raids conducted at former Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan in a PMLA case filed by the Enforcement Directorate against Pinarayi Vijayan's daughter T. Veena. Now visuals, dramatic visuals on the screens of protests over those raids in the state capital of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram. We have my colleague Varghese joining us live for more. Varghese, things are slowly but surely getting out of hand. Violence with the damage to property already over these protests.
Well, there has been raids that have been carried out around 12 locations in Kerala, is what we understand. And in that, we did see a large gathering of supporters of the CPIM at his residence in Thiruvananthapuram. Also, raids were being carried out at his residence in Kannur as well. There were 12 locations that were connected with the former Chief Minister that was being searched as we speak. Interestingly enough, Krishna, over here, what was happening was this ED raids was subjected to a company called CMRL, and it was alleged that they had given around approximately 1.5 crores, and it was paid through Exalogic, which is a company that is owned by the former Chief Minister's Pinarayi Vijayan's daughter Veena, and through that the bribe was paid was the allegation that was put forward. Now recently what has happened is the court has allowed the case to proceed. They've said that it will not be quashed as such, and since they decided not to quash the case, the proceedings of the ED case was in fact carried out further, and part of that you had the raids happening. Here what we see is that we are in fact trying to understand whether the vehicle that has been damaged belongs to the ED officers or not. Right now we do see in fact the former Chief Minister and also the leader of the opposition in the Kerala Legislative Assembly outside there. There was a huge gathering of supporters of Pinarayi Vijayan from CPM as well as DYFI as well as the SFI that were there. All of them had gathered when the raids had taken place. And big questions were being raised by the CPI leaders as well as the CPM leaders on the nature of these raids. Why was it being carried out and what was the purpose of it? They also want to know whether the Congress had any hand in ensuring that the raid was carried on Pinarayi Vijayan. Now, as I said, it is with regard to a particular, it's a PMLA case, it is with regard to a particular case regarding this transfer of money from this CMRL to Exalogic, and therefore that is the route which, it was around 1.5 CR is what we understand, and therefore they were investigating that. As part of that investigation, the larger investigation, we see this happening, and therefore at the Thiruvananthapuram residence as of now, we see this huge gathering. There is a huge police presence also, but CPM workers have in fact become violent as some of the vehicles were in fact moved out there. We can see one of the vehicles that was trying to make its way, the windshield on both the sides were in fact damaged. There were stones that were in fact pelted on that car. We are trying to understand right now whether there were any ED officials in that vehicle or it was just another vehicle that was moving, and you had the anger being shown by the CPM workers there. There you can see it was a very tough situation for the police to in fact go ahead and clear the path as well that we see over there, with CPM workers out there in large numbers trying to blockade that car from going out. And there were also sloganeering that was carried out as this vehicle was moved on. And it is in fact, you can see the kind of violence that was there as the vehicle was moving out. So we are in fact trying to figure out as to whether this violence that has in fact broken out was against the ED officials or not. Once we come to know that, we will understand that the situation was very difficult out there as the police try to in fact maintain some kind of sense of law and order in that region as well. So this coming out from Kerala right now.
Latest with those visuals, Varghese, they're putting it into perspective. Violence breaking out over raids at former Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. In fact, the case was against his daughter T. Veena, a PMLA case by Enforcement Directorate, which resulted in raids across locations, including the ex-Chief Minister's rented residence in Thiruvananthapuram, isn't it, Varghese? As far as Thiruvananthapuram is concerned, it was a rented residence where of the former Chief Minister that was raided, apart from the other multiple locations where the raids were conducted.
we know that any premises that was associated with the Chief Minister was in fact raided, as we in fact see the situation emerging on the ground. And we also have seen that these ED raids were part of an older case. It's only that the CMRL had in fact approached the courts asking it to quash the case with regard to this, but the courts have said that the investigations will continue, and as part of it, the ED had gone ahead and carried out with its raids in Kerala in 12 locations. But it looks like the situation in Thiruvananthapuram has become very tough, especially with large gathering of CPM supporters at the rented accommodation of the former Chief Minister and now the LOP of the Kerala Assembly. So hectic politics happening on one side with the Congress as well as the CPM trading blames of each other, trying to say that you guys are all part of the B team. Who's the B team? Nobody knows, but they keep ensuring that allegation is put to each other. Now with the CPM saying that the Congress is in hands and gloves with the BJP and is trying to in fact ensure that CPM is wiped out from Kerala. That is the allegation that the CPM has put out. While Kerala, the Congress is saying that we have nothing to do with this. It is an independent process that's been happening, and therefore it is through due process of law that is being carried out as of now. But it looks like it was a very tough situation for the ED officers. If they were there when they were in fact doing or carrying out with the searches, they were looking into several aspects of it. They were looking at documents, financial documents. They were looking at digital evidences as well. They were looking at several kind of digital trails as well to ensure that they do have a case for the PMLA, and therefore the searches were all related to that. But as of now, it looks like the things have not gone out properly, and you can see the large number of gathering out over there. The police had to in fact literally try to make a way through the CPM supporters who had gathered there in support of Pinarayi Vijayan, and this did result in a lathi charge to get that one vehicle out from that place, and this is the kind of situation that we see.
Varghese, which means that this could be the an indication of what can be expected in the coming days, because this case is not going away anywhere. The Enforcement Directorate is going to continue with its due process. Be it these raids are taking the case further, and that will elicit a sharp reaction from the CPI supporters, and not just in Thiruvananthapuram but across the world, including their hotbeds like Kannur.
Yes, it is. In fact, what we see this situation is in Thiruvananthapuram. But what I'm trying to say is that, there are party strongholds like in northern Kerala, Kannur, of course, being a very big CPM stronghold. There could be huge protests that could be there. Now, we are expecting a series of hartals that would be called by the CPM over these ED raids. And therefore, it is something that we are going to see a huge response from the CPM, because what sources are saying is that the CPM has been looking at these raids as an effort to curtail it, especially when it's in the opposition. And therefore, we did see this kind of narrative that is also being put out by the Rajya Sabha MP of the CPM, John Britas, to everyone. In fact, coming out and speaking about this particular raid. But it looks like now politically they are going to make it a festering point with a series of protests that they would be carrying out against the centre.
Latest visuals on your screens are of the violent protests that are erupted in Thiruvananthapuram, with the vehicle getting damaged. We are yet to get confirmed information on whose vehicle was it. Was it an Enforcement Directorate vehicle which was broken by stone attacks by the CPI cadre who are protesting the raids that have been conducted in connection with the PMLA case against former Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's daughter, T. Veena. These are protests that are expected to continue across different parts of Kerala going forward, even as the Enforcement Directorate continues its procedures in the case. Protesters ambushing and attacking an Enforcement Directorate vehicle. Varghese, for now, it seems like this is indeed an Enforcement Directorate vehicle.
Well, as we in fact see the nature of the attacks that are being carried out as of now, in fact, we are trying to figure out as to whether the ED officers have been under attack, especially when they're trying to leave the premises, and that's when the attack took place or not. That we are in fact trying to figure out that aspect of it, but it's been quite damage that particular car has in fact sustained, with its windshields being broken both at the front and the back, with CPM workers in fact trying to stop stop that vehicle, as well as there you can see they try to in fact break the side mirror as well as the windshield over there, and it looks like some of those people have in fact, or rather they did in fact be beaten up, as we can see the situation becoming quite serious when we look at the situation there as they try to in fact move
For sure, if
out
they
from
are,
the location.
if it is the Enforcement Directorate officers' vehicle, then some of these people have been caught on camera very clearly attacking a government vehicle. Clearly,
If it is the enforcement vehicles, of course, it will be several aspects of charges that would become, especially trying to stop a officer on duty from doing his, from carrying out with his work. So that is something that will also come to light in this. So of course, they have been caught on camera, especially with all this, and therefore there could be cases that could be registered as well with regard to what is happening. But the situation, in fact, being quite tense in Kerala, especially with the ED raids that have been carried out on Pinarayi Vijayan, especially on the Exalogic case. So that is something that is going to in fact be looked into, and therefore
എന്തായിരുന്നു ആ ഒരു സാഹചര്യം?
ഏഴ് മണിക്കാണ് ഈ വാതിൽ ടീം എത്തുന്നത്. ഈ സമയം വരെ അവരിവിടെ പരിശോധനയിലായിരുന്നു. വന്ന ടീം നിർദ്ദേശമനുസരിച്ച് വരുന്നതാണല്ലോ, അങ്ങനെയല്ലേ നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ടത്.
so they had an agenda with them.
മേലെയുള്ളവര് പറയുന്നത്
The people above them are saying
അധികൃതര് പറയുന്നത് അനുസരിക്കാൻ അവര് ബാധ്യസ്ഥരാണ്.
they are officers who are from the lower ranks, and they are supposed to listen to what their superior officers say.
നല്ല രീതിയിൽ
What they saw over here was
ഇടപെടുന്നതാണ്.
something that was being carried out according to the law. There has been
ഇത്രയും മണിക്കൂറുകൾ
there has been no
വീട്ടിനകത്തുണ്ടായി.
there was nothing to stop them.
ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ
They were in the house for a lot of time, and there was a lot of things for them to understand.
കിട്ടിയതില്ല എന്നൊക്കെ അവരാണ് വ്യക്തമാക്കേണ്ടത്.
They have to say what they got and what they didn't get.
ഇതൊന്നും ഒരു നമുക്കെല്ലാം അറിയാവുന്നതുപോലെ
However,
പെട്ടെന്നുണ്ടായ കാര്യമല്ല.
this is nothing that happened all of a sudden.
നമ്മുടെ ഇത്തരമൊരു വീട്ടിൽ കയറിയുള്ള പരിശോധന
This kind of searches that are being carried out at residents,
തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട് വളരെ കാലമായി.
the ED has been carrying out in such manner for a long time.
ചിലർക്കെല്ലാം
This search for some people
മനസ്സംതൃപ്തി നൽകുന്നതാണ്
are
തോന്നുന്നത്.
something that gives them a lot of satisfaction,
രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിയെ പോലെ ഒരാൾ
especially for a person like Rahul Gandhi.
പിണറായി വിജയന്റെ വീട് റെഡി ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല, എന്തുകൊണ്ട്
The question that he asked why Pinarayi Vijayan's house was not raided,
എന്നതായിരുന്നു.
it was the question that Rahul Gandhi kept asking.
നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിലെ
In fact, our states,
പ്രതിപക്ഷത്തിന്റെ പ്രവർത്തകർക്കും നേതാക്കൾക്കുമെതിരെയുള്ള
this is a raid that's been carried out on the opposition.
ആക്രമണ നടപടികളാണ്
This is equal to attacks being carried out on the opposition.
BJP ഗവൺമെന്റ് തുറന്നു വരുന്നത്.
The BJP has been in fact following attacks on with central agencies.
രാജ്യ പാർട്ടിക്കാർക്ക് നേരെ
There has been
ഇഡിയുടെ
there's been a raid on especially those who
നിലപാടാണ്
are part of the CPM.
സ്വീകരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഏതായാലും ഇതുകൊണ്ടൊന്നും ഞങ്ങൾ അവസാനിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല.
Let me tell you that it's not going to end with all these raids.
മാത്രമായിട്ട്
We only see this as a beginning.
ഈ തരത്തിലുള്ള
This type of,
ഏതെങ്കിലും നടപടികൾ കൊണ്ട്
if there are this type of any kind of activity to
തളർത്തിക്കളയാമെന്ന് വ്യാമോഹിക്കേണ്ടതില്ല.
weaken us,
പ്രകടമായി നമ്മുടെ നാടിന്റെ വികാരവും
then they will be in fact facing
വികാരവും
the
എല്ലാ
state's
കാലത്തും
wrath and the people of states wrath, the state's people wrath.
പാർട്ടിയുടെ അകമഴിഞ്ഞ പിന്തുണയാണ് പാർട്ടി ശത്രുക്കൾ ഒത്തിവലിക്കാനൊരുങ്ങിയ എല്ലാ ഘട്ടത്തിലും ലഭ്യമായിട്ടുള്ളത്.
Party workers will in fact come onto the streets.
പിന്തുണക്ക്
and they always support the party, and
ഒരു ചാഞ്ചല്യവും
and that there is no
എന്നതാണ്
one thing that you should understand is that when party workers come out on the streets, understand that we have a large number of support, and today we can see that is what they have done.
എല്ലാവരെയും ഹൃദയപൂർവ്വം അഭിവാദ്യം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
I in fact
ഏതിനെയും
hail everyone and say that we will be able to face anything.
നമ്മുടെ കരുത്ത്.
This is our strength.
ഒന്നിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ഇറങ്ങാം.
We will stand united and
ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ
fight it out.
പറയാൻ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്.
There's a lot of things that I want to say.
പറയാൻ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്.
There's a lot of things to say. I will say this later. Now I am standing over here.